Welcome back to the channel. We're back in the barn, and today we're going to do the Vevor test. I said at the end of the last video that if I got 500 views I would do that, so we're over 2,000, so I guess I'm going to do that. My plan is I'm going to run the Vevor on low for an hour, then I'm going to run it on high or on medium for an hour, and then I'm going to run it on high for an hour. And at the end of each of those hours, I'm going to measure the temperature on the exhaust pipe, the heat exchanger, and the exhaust out the wall to see if we're recovering any heat out of it. We're also going to monitor the room temperature to see if it heats up in here at all. Currently, the thermometer that's over there says it's positive 1.5. The Vevor says about the same. I have a Mastercraft thermometer, digital. It's pretty useless. It says that it is, let's see, -6. So yeah, it's about 6 degrees off, but we're just looking for relative temperature, how much we gain in the system. So the starting temperature is going to be -6. We'll go from there. So I have to go and look after something else that happened overnight. We have a tree down on our fence, so I'm going to go do that while this runs for an hour. But before we spark that up, let's have a trip back to yesterday, and we'll talk about making the preparations for running today's video. Welcome to yesterday. So to get ready for tomorrow, I'm going to drain the unit because I've run it before, testing. And then when it's empty, I'm going to make a scale on the side of it by adding a liter of fuel at a time and marking on the tape where that level is. For you Americans, a liter is a quart, roughly. So when I say liter, you hear quart. And then after I've done that, I'm going to drain the heat exchanger. Nope, nothing. Drain plug has a little bit of discoloration on it, but nothing serious. So I'm going to put that back in. Yeah, let's fire it up and see what happens. See you in an hour. Guess I need to plug it in to keep the battery from dying on me while I'm out doing the tree. That's the fuel pump coming on. Welcome back. It's been an hour, so I thought we would check the temperatures and the fuel gauge, and we'll see how we're doing. The exhaust is still at about 87 degrees, 88 degrees. Going in here, not getting a really good reading. It says 40. The heat exchanger's 42 degrees. Over here we're at 39 and a half. And let's check the fuel gauge, then we'll go outside and have a look at the exhaust. So you can see we've used between 1/4 and 3/8 of a liter in that first hour on low. Let's go outside. Alright, so we're outside. You can see that it's producing a lot of steam. There's water dripping out the exhaust, and I am getting a temperature of 11 degrees. And you can easily put your hand on that. See if you can see the 11 degrees. So yeah, that's recovering a fair bit of that heat. Let's go back inside and we'll crank it up. So let's crank it up to 3, because the maximum on this is 6. Let's go 4. Okay, so it's 2.4 degrees according to the thermometer. I'm going to let it run for another hour on number 4. I'm going to go back and lock up that tree. And I'll see you in an hour. So while that chugs along happily there, Corey Perez, 13, said I should do something egregious in every video so people have something to comment on. So Corey, this is for you. So it's been 55 minutes and it's now 3.1 in here according to the thermometer, and the Vevor says it's 6 degrees. I'm going to do the temperature readings and see how things are going. So that's 143 degrees Celsius. That's 455.71. Let's see. That's 92 Celsius. Coming out, it is 73, 74. And up here, well, let's go outside and we'll have a look and see what it's doing out there. So out here, it's showing, yeah, so somewhere around 19, 20 degrees Celsius, 22. I'm not seeing any water vapor. I am seeing steam. Let's go back in. So you can see we're about, oh, right there, which is 3 3/8 of a tank. So we've used a quarter of a tank in that period. Yeah, I'd say about a quarter of a tank in that period. We've used 3/8 of a tank so far, so yeah. So we used a quarter of a tank on the 4th setting in an hour. So let's crank it up and see what we burn in the next hour. So while that's running, we'll talk about 3 of the questions that we had in the comments to the last section. But I'm going to go to some B-roll where I answered those questions so we don't have to listen to that thing pump while we're trying to discuss those issues. So this is me later in the day answering those questions that came up on the last video. Corey Perez 13 asked if I had installed it upside down purposely, meaning why didn't I put the exhaust at the bottom so the vapor that we saw wouldn't just blow outside instead of condensing in the heat exchanger? Well, the answer to that is quite simple, but I need a demo. So I made up a piece of metal and a tube. Let's put them together and you can see. So, as you can see, if I had put that exhaust on the bottom, the pipe nipple would have stuck up above the ground level. And that means that water would always be trapped behind it, and I wouldn't get the heat exchanger fully drained. By putting it on top, not that you can see that, but the smoke will ride along the top and go out quite easily. When I take the, there's a nipple down here, right about there, a drain plug, and when I pull that out, the hole is flush, so the water will just run out and I can completely drain the heat exchanger instead of having water trapped in there. And that leads me to Michael Parker 2319. His question was why diesel instead of propane? And that has to do with, well, vapor. The same size propane unit would vent into the building, and when you burn propane, as with diesel, you end up with carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and dihydromonoxide, water. So whether you're burning diesel or you're burning propane, you get water vapor, which isn't a problem, except in a cold barn with metal objects, that water vapor condenses onto those objects and rusts it out. Using the diesel heater that vents to the outside, all that steam ends up outside the building and not inside the building, condensing on my tractors, which I don't like. I don't like rusty tractors. Anyway, so that's the answer to Michael Parker 2319. But thank you for commenting, Michael. Hope that answers your question. And go check out Corey Perez 13. He's got more viewers than I have, and he said I should do something egregious, and I did. So go see what he has to do, and yeah. So we're back. It's been another hour. It's 4.3 degrees in here now. Vevor says it's 8 degrees. So time to do the temperature tests and see how we're doing. That says 162 degrees. Down here we are 109. Over here we are 89 degrees. So yeah, considerably hotter. So after an hour of running at high, we are right about there somewhere. So just below 3 liters left. Yeah. So we are losing some heat out of that. But I think if I had a fan right over there, blowing air across that, I might be able to recover some more heat. So I'm going to run that for another 15 minutes and we'll see if that makes any difference to the temperature of the box, the heat exchanger. I'll bring you back. In the meantime, while we're waiting on that, a couple of videos ago I went off on a bit of a rant about software and apps that just want to steal your data, how useless that seems to me. Since then I've come to find out that one of our long-term viewers, a person I have known for, well, a really long time, is writing an academic paper on an app that they are creating. And they seem quite intrigued by the process of creating the app and getting it to do what they want it to do. And while they haven't said anything, I would imagine they were probably a little insulted by my comments. I didn't mean to insult them. So, my apologies. I'm sorry if I insulted you with my comments, the thoughtless comments that they were. Yeah, I apologize. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. Let's do the measurements on the box again. So that's, what are we getting, 58 degrees now. And over here, $65. $60. So we must be recovering some heat. Okay, so it's been 3 hours and 15 minutes or so. We've done the testing. We've got the results. I'll put them on the screen up here and you can have a look at them. I'm going to turn it off and we'll let it go through its cool down cycle. Anyway, thanks for watching. The video's a little disjointed. I got a little messed up with that tree falling on the fence, but I'm hopefully going to be able to cut and paste some stuff into the video so that it doesn't seem horrible. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.